Hey, I'm Gemma. Welcome to our farm. Today I was going to talk about the Earthway and the Jang P1 seeder. I was at a workshop recently and somebody was asking about whether or not they should keep their Earthway in their system even though they were really struggling with it. So I figured I'd jump on here, say a few things about what I really love about our Jang P1 and a few things where the Earthway could be useful within your operational system. To start, they're both manual push seeders, pretty basic infrastructure on them. Nothing can really break too badly. Not a lot of mechanization. The price point on them is quite different. The Earthway seeder, this one here is available for about $125 American. That's without the seed plates and additional things. This one, the P1 Jang, is around $450 American. So there's quite a bit of a difference in price there, but also the kind of precision that you're going to get from each machine is quite different as well. So let's start with the Earthway. This is your basic seeder. I know a lot of new farmers start with this because it's affordable and you can easily get it onto your farm. We used it for many seasons, or a couple seasons when we first started, and there was some frustration with this machine for sure. There's different seed plates you can put in here. They're pretty simple. However, the accuracy with small seed, particularly mustards for salad mix, is not as great as you're gonna get in something like the Jang. That's one of the reasons we switched over, was because we were increasing our salad mix production and wanted a better seeder to do that work with. Hi, Merlin. On the Earthway, there's not very many things you can adjust. So the seed plate, which is interchangeable, and there's a variety of sizes that you can use, comes on and off fairly easily. So this size here determines what size seed is going to drop through and how much it's going to drop. It's not an exact science, obviously, because it's quite a big difference in size between each plate. There's a hopper hole here, which is where the seed drops down and comes down through the shoe here. This shoe is also adjustable, the height. It's not extremely accurate. And the chain is the fancy burying mechanism that covers your seed. We found with big seed like beans, you'd often have to go back and recover because you just couldn't get them properly covered on the first pass, which is additional labor and time that you don't always want to be spending on a crop like beans. So the Earthway in general, I know a lot of new farmers start with it. I know it can bring a lot of frustration because it's not good for that small seed, which is often what we want to be seeding on a weekly basis. So if you're doing a lot of seeding on a weekly basis, that's when it could be good to upgrade to a Jang or consider a different seeder based on your needs for your farm. We used this for many years for beans. That was about it once we got our Jang, but now it's kind of collecting dust in our barn. This is the Jang P1. We bought it about 5 years ago after a good farm mentor of ours convinced us that the initial investment, which seemed really large at the time, was going to be worth it with the amount of money we were going to make based on increased seeding efficiency, better germination rates, and overall decreased frustration on our farm when we were using the Earthway. So we went ahead and bought this machine. So the first thing to note is the hopper. This comes out, which is awesome. You can pull it out and dump or add seeds as you need. Lightweight, transportable, makes for a fast change around when you're churning between varieties. There's a seed plate, seed roller in here. These are also interchangeable. There's many different styles. The double roll with 2 lines here they're the 24 series. There's also ones that come with just 1 line down. The number of holes obviously determines how many seeds are going to be dropped, as well as the space between the seeds. You can also see the indent there is quite small. So this is a X24. We use this seed plate for a lot of things, including salad mix, carrots, and some turnip seed. You can see here that I've put a little note to myself saying sprocket. I wrote it right on here because this sprocket adjustment has to go on one side so that it fits within the gearing mechanism. And there was many times that I would just put it on the wrong side, and then that's waste time and energy. So I just made a note to myself there. There's a seed brush here that has an adjustable height. It's really handy for doing those minute details around how much seed you want to drop based on a seed plate. So if a seed's slightly larger, I'll increase the height just enough to let a few more seeds out, or if it's really fine seed, I'll put it all the way down so it's brushing really tight against the roller to ensure that it's not leaking out any extra seed into our planting. There's a huge variety of seed rollers that come with the Jang for all your different kinds of seeding needs. We on our farm only use about 3 of them. We use the X24, the XY24, and the F24. That's about all we need on our operation because we seed a lot of salad mix, a lot of radishes and turnips, and all of those seeds fit within either of those 3 categories mostly. So the hopper is a pretty easy mechanism. When you're done, you fill all your seed. When you're done, you can just pour it back into the bag. It's a nice feature of that. With the Earthway, you kind of have to lift the whole seeding machine and try and pour it back in. Makes it a bit more cumbersome for sure. In addition to all the things you can adjust on the hopper with the seed roller, there's also a gearing mechanism which drives the whole Jang system. This is a super simple mechanized sprocket and chain system here with multiple different sizes of sprockets that you can interchange to adjust the space between seeds as it rolls down the bed. So you can see as your front wheel moves, it drives the sprocket, and that in turn drives your seed hopper and drops seeds at a specific rate. There's a really handy chart that goes along with the Jang seeder. I like it because it's on the seeder, so when I'm in the field I can do quick calculations and make adjustments based on how wide apart I need things. The weight of this Jang is a bit heavier than the Earthway, so it actually helps glide through the soil a bit better. When you hit a rock, sometimes you have to stop and pull a big rock out, but often the nice nifty shoe here on the front has a kind of a rock busting front part, and that'll often push the rocks out of the way and you can just keep seeding right on through. Another key thing that I like about the Jang seeder is its adjustability. The height here, so Doug and I on our farm are quite different heights. If he's seeding, he can adjust it higher. If I'm seeding, I can adjust it lower. Also, the handle here slides one way or the other. This is really handy when you're going back and forth down a bed on different sides, and you can just flip the handle around instead of having to awkwardly reach all the way across a bed, which is hard on your body and also inefficient. Given the higher price point of the Jang over the Earthway, I can see why some farmers struggle to make the decision between upgrading to a Jang seeder. However, I believe that if you're seeding a lot of salad mix, doing small seeded stuff like radishes on a weekly basis, it can make you a lot more money in a short period of time just based on the overall efficiency of this machine. I hope you found today's video useful in helping you make a decision around which seeder is right for your operation. If you have any more questions, please put your comments down below and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.